Just to see all them big time Hollywood men that I just watched go up there, they all come down off the shuttle and looking sad in the eyes, and all of them wearing Sean John and looking oily, and they all walk crazy like this. And
what was shocking to him was what he saw rappers doing. He goes, I saw rappers doing things I never expected to see, and it totally changed the way I look at them. I guess he's saying there was male-on-male sex among rappers.
Big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Like Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women.
Katt Williams is officially back outside since that interview with Shannon Sharpe had the whole internet in a chokehold. And now Katt's talking again, and this time he's telling on everyone who attended Diddy's oil parties. According to Katt, that guest list wasn't just random D-list celebs. He said he saw all the most powerful industry men coming in all excited and ready to party, and then coming out all sad, dead-eyed, and oiled up. Now here's where it gets extra messy. You know how Jay-Z and Diddy were BFFs for years? Now this is just alleged, but the streets are saying that Jay was one of the men Katt saw coming out of those parties. And let's just say it looked like they did way more than just party. Now listen, to some of you, this might sound too far-fetched, but people who've been around since the 90s know that rumors about Jay-Z's personal life have been floating around for literally decades. I'm not saying they're true. I'm saying the rumors have existed, and Katt's not the first one to bring it up. There have always been side conversations, coded jokes, industry whispers, the kind of stuff that never makes mainstream headlines but never fully goes away either. There were people who claimed Jay-Z used to live with a man back in the day, and apparently Beyonce knew about it. Allegedly, it was some type of Will Smith and Jada arrangement they had going on. And then on top of all that, Hollywood insiders are saying Jay was known for allegedly bringing trans women with him on tour. And honestly, by now, this shouldn't even shock anyone. It's clear now that people don't rise to that level. Billionaire status, cultural gatekeeper, untouchable icon, just by being wholesome, stand-up family men. That's not how the machine works. And what goes on behind the scenes is most likely way more devious than any of us can imagine.
And then they would get in their car and they would drive off standing up, big boy, with their head out there.
All right, let's first break down what Katt Williams said about those Diddy parties in this new interview with Big Boy. So Katt is now saying he didn't just hear about these parties. He claims he saw things with his own eyes. He described how he would watch what he called big-time Hollywood men getting on shuttle buses headed to Diddy's private parties. So not randoms, not paid adult workers, powerful A-list men.
They would have these parties in the Hollywood Hills, you know, and then they would have a parking lot where they would shuttle people up. So everybody would meet in this parking lot and they would send shuttles down to, you know, Diddy's parties. And so I wasn't ever invited to the parties, but I was invited to the parking lot because I knew the people that ran the shuttle service. You knew them too, as it turned out. But yeah, I would go to the parking lot and I would watch them all go up there. And, you know, they would be thinking I'm coming later. I would just be on the car having a grand old time, smoking and laughing and watching everybody who's going.
Now, if you remember, Katt said on Club Shay Shay that for the past 30 years, he's been doing nothing but collecting receipts and information.
30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, you would tell him.
Well, Katt meant that, because now he's claiming that he didn't just see those A-list men arrive at Diddy's party, he also watched them leave. And the way he described it, let's just say they did not look the same walking out as they did walking in.
You can't tell me what goes on, because 5 hours later, I'm still in the parking lot when they come down. And, you know, just to see all them big time Hollywood men that I just watched go up there, they all come down off the shuttle and looking sad in the eyes, and all of them wearing Sean John and looking oily, and they all walk crazy like this, and their shoelaces were always untied. I don't know why. Their shoelaces were always untied. And then they would get in their car and they would drive off standing up, big boy, with their head out there. All of them. And I couldn't believe it, but one of the highlights of my Hollywood career, you know. But you can't tell me, because I was there to see on both ends.
Hey, man.
Now, why is Jay-Z getting dragged into this conversation? Well, first of all, let's not act confused. We already know Hov and Diddy have been close for decades. Red carpets, business moves, private events, industry power dinners, all that is documented. I mean, Diddy literally claimed Jay-Z is the only person besides his mom who can call him by his government name, and the first person he calls when he gets in trouble.
And that's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody else could call me Sean.
He's
You
the
know,
only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
Outside
should be,
of family?
That should be, no, outside of my mother.
And this is the extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here.
But here's where the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Because beyond this friendship between the two Seans, there have always been whispers about Jay living what some people describe as a double life. For years, there have been rumors and blind items about how certain moguls maintain one image for the public: billionaire businessman, family man, legacy builder, while allegedly moving very differently behind closed doors. And Jay's name has popped up in those kinds of conversations more than once. Over the years, certain bloggers and radio personalities have hinted that there were specific names tied to the rumors surrounding Jay-Z, including former male model and NFL player Larry Johnson.
I got signed with them, and then I got signed to do Rockaware too, and it really wasn't supposed to happen that way. You know, of course, you know, when Dame and Jay split,
Right.
you know, it was like who's gonna go with who. So I ended up not knowingly, but I got put under the wing of Jay, and then I started doing the Rockaware shoots. And the more times I was in the Rockaware shoots and around Jay and around everybody else, you know, in that clique, that I became real good friends with everyone. So it's been, I would say about 4 or 5 years I've been knowing them and kind of growing with them, but it's still at the same time knowing it started to go way past the just putting on the chain and you know, throwing up the rock sign. I became family after that. So it was, you know, I'm in town, I go over and watch basketball games, I'm go and watch college football games. So it's been on some real friendship rather than just business and what we're gonna do for each other.
Now, almost all the old stories about Jay and Larry's friendship were scrubbed from the internet, but you can still find a few photos of them posing together at industry events. But that's not all. There's also this 2009 article from 97.9 The Beat titled, "Is Jay-Z Gay?" And they cited a tip from an anonymous source who claimed they worked at Trump Tower when Jay-Z and Larry allegedly lived there together. The source said, "I am writing you to ask a question. I work in the building where Jay-Z lives, Trump Tower, and though he and B are together, I've never seen her in his building. But what's strange to me, I see Larry Johnson all the time. In fact, he lives with Jay-Z. The other night, they attended Cavs and Nets games. When did they become so close? And why is Larry living with Jay? I have some video footage from my phone of them together in the building. Is Jay gay? Now, why would two straight male millionaires with a 10-year age gap choose to share a condo when they can afford their own places? And they both had girlfriends at the time. It just makes no sense." But even before this article came out, gossip forums were already side-eyeing Jay and Larry's friendship. Back in 2007, someone on Lipstick Alley asked, "Are Jay-Z and Larry Johnson really roommates?" Now, fast forward a few years when Jay suddenly cut ties with Larry, and the blogs were still whispering how this wasn't just a friendship breakup. Someone on Lipstick Alley wrote this back in 2018. "No, Jay-Z broke ties with Larry Johnson because they were secretly in a relationship and living together. This was during the time of Beyoncé's Crazy in Love era. She had her own apartment in Midtown, and Jay-Z had his right across the way, but he lived with his boyfriend. Jay-Z been gay, but people refused to believe it. Larry was signed to Roc Nation, but he couldn't keep his hands off of Jaleesa and other women. They are gay." But that wasn't the end of it. Another rumor about Jay-Z's alleged DL lifestyle came from his former friend Jaz-O, who reportedly claimed that, just like Diddy, Jay might have done certain favors for powerful executives to get ahead in the industry. Now, now, that interview with Jazzo is gone from the internet. But back in 2009, it popped up on gossip forums, and one fan brought up an old prediction from Wendy Williams right at the start of 2008, just before she launched her talk show. The actual clip might be gone now, but this fan transcribed exactly what Wendy said, and here it is. Allegedly, Wendy said this on her radio show: Beyonce will cheat on Jay-Z. Beyonce is getting tired of Jay. Not enough to leave him, because even she realizes the cash camel that Jay is, but enough to let a backup dancer or a hot upcoming one-hit wonder blow her back out. The first ever gay X-tape featuring two prominent hip-hop artists will surface. It's only a matter of time. A lot of artists almost got pulled out of the closet, kicking and screaming in 2007. Do you not think one of these ecstasy-induced idiots is stupid enough to tape a "how you doing" encounter? Wait and see. And fast forward to now, and it's wild how many of Wendy's old predictions actually hit the mark. Maybe not this one fully just yet, but still, every time people called her out for gossiping or chasing clout, it kind of seemed like she was really just trying to expose the shady side of the industry while keeping herself safe. But we're not done yet. There's also this blind item from the early 2000s that just popped back up online, hinting at two major hip-hop moguls who are supposedly living that DL life. The blind reads, "These two guys are powerhouses in the world of hip-hop. They're equally rich and famous. They like to go out on the town together in style. It's limos, Cristal champagne, and bodyguards all the way. Girls are drawn to them like flies, and they have their choice of the foxiest models in town. Sometimes they party all night, but sometimes they go home alone. Well, not exactly alone. They've got each other. These two macho dudes are secretly bisexual and feel safe fooling around together because neither will risk talking about it." So, who do you think this blind item is about?
That's Marv King?
Niggas feeling marvelous.
You gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is. Whee! I see you, King. I see you, King.
And while Jay-Z now wants to act like he and Diddy were never even close, the internet doesn't forget. Receipts last forever, and the fact that he is still trying to deny their friendship just makes him look even more sus. And now, to pour just a little more gas on the fire, here's Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, claiming that Dame Dash knows all of Jay-Z's secrets. And apparently, one of those secrets is Jay's alleged preference for trans women.
You know, I've got mad respect for Dame Dash. I've never worked with Dame Dash, unfortunately. I've worked with Jay-Z directly. But as far as Dame Dash, I've never worked with him, and I think it's amazing for him to come out and say that. And he could come out and say a whole lot more, because really he knows everything. Like Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, you know, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, you know, protect the hip hop culture, and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secrets.
You've been in the industry for so long, for, you know, almost 3 decades now, probably, you know, just dabbling in it. When it comes to that specific thing, because we've seen where people are speaking on the woman that was in the Biggie Smalls One More Chance video, or whichever video it was, the Big Papa video, I'm sorry. We see that had a lead as a transgender woman, and that story was making headlines. Was there a fascination in the transgender world in hip hop when you were coming at, like, an unwritten rule or a myth that there's a thing for transgenders within the hip hop community? Because it seems to be almost like it was taboo back then, but these things are coming to light now.
I think with the transgender, you know, the transgender women, I feel like it's more common in New York than it is anywhere else. Like being in New York, you know, you see them everywhere. She, her, right? You see it everywhere. Whereas down in the South, like where I was from, I've never really experienced that at all. You know, so I don't know if that's part of it, but it seems like they set out to do that, you know?
So now you've seen all the receipts. And while this doesn't 100% prove that Jay-Z was one of the A-list men Katt Williams claims he saw coming out of Diddy's parties and driving away standing up, It definitely makes people side-eye Jay even more than they already do. But I want to hear what you think about all this. Do you believe this theory that men in the industry have to compromise themselves in this way to reach the top? And do you think Jay-Z might have done the same? Also, who do you think are the other men Katt saw going to those Diddy parties? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below, and don't miss this next video.